In the first 6 lessons in this study, Teach Them to Teach, my purpose has been to help you find a more enduring motivation for sharing the gospel. We have seen that what we have the privilege of sharing really is good news. The angel told the shepherds that it was good news of great joy. That was for all the people. God isn't asking us to go and become anyone's judge or try to correct every error and every sin that fills today's world. He simply wants us to take each opportunity that we have to graciously share the simple gospel story of Christ. He'll take care of the results. We've also looked at some of the incredible blessings that obedient, faithful believers get to experience in their lives. Think about how incredible it is that the God who created the heavens and the earth and has also proven beyond any doubt that He loves us. The gospel is really a love story. Furthermore, the gospel reminds us that because of Christ, we don't get what we deserve, which is eternal punishment. We are shown again and again God's undeserved mercy. The gospel also brings to our hearts and fills them with His delightful joy, what the Scriptures call the joy of salvation. And while it breaks our hearts to know that our redemption cost the life and the blood of Christ, of God Himself, our joy comes from the fact that Christ rose from the dead after 3 days, and He now sits exalted at the right hand of God. We also learned that God really wants us to go through life knowing His peace, of not having to be anxious about anything. By the power and the promise of God, we get to face every day with the confidence that God's in control, and He's wonderfully working out His marvelous plan for our lives and for the whole world. In the last lesson, we took note of the blessing of hope. What Christians have and what Christians know is a hope that is absolutely priceless. So I hope you're becoming excited that, like putting on shoes, your feet are beginning to feel more and more of the readiness of the gospel of peace. The next 4 lessons are going to help you learn how to take that excitement and that desire and translate it into action. We're going to look at 4 things: finding the courage, finding the people, finding the opportunity, and finding the words. Probably, fear is the number one reason why so many Christians are not more active in sharing the gospel. For some, even thinking about talking to people is so stressful. Probably, fear is the number one reason why so many Christians are not more active in sharing the gospel. For some, even thinking about talking to people is so stressful, so far out of their comfort zone, that they don't like to even think about it. They're afraid. Now, they may not really know why or what it is that they're afraid of, but they know that tightening in their stomach, and they know that feeling of panic. For some, it may be a fear of not knowing enough, of what if someone asks them a question that they're not able to answer. For some, it might be a fear of saying something wrong, or saying something or doing something that might cause someone to be lost forever. Others find that they're really afraid of what others might think of them. They're afraid of that saying something might cost them relationships that they treasure, that people will think less of them or think that they're weird. If some of that sounds familiar to you, rest assured you're not alone. To the Christians in Corinth, the Apostle Paul himself shared about what he felt when he first came to their city. And he said, I was with you in weakness and in fear and in much trembling. Lesson 7 is going to get you into God's Word to find the Spirit's help in overcoming every fear and to start doing for Christ what He did for you. May God's grace and peace and joy be with you again.
I love to tell the story. 'Twill be my theme in glory to tell the old story of Jesus